Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good afternoon to all the viewers. I am Hiral Dadia. Clearly, the markets are marching towards the 20,000 level in trade today. Now, whether we will hit that 20,000 mark or not is something that everyone is waiting and watching. We're just around 10 to 15 points away from those 20,000 levels, and the highest is 9990.7, what Nifty 50 has hit so far. In fact, interesting moves coming in terms of Bank Nifty as well. 46,238.35 is the high in today's session in terms of Bank Nifty. So clearly, in the last 1.5 hours of trade, we've seen that mega up move that has come in terms of where markets are concerned. If not today, I think everyone will be watching out for the opening session tomorrow, where the 20,000 number in terms of Nifty 50 is eyed. But let's quickly welcome in our guest, Osho Krishan, Senior Research Analyst, Technical and Derivatives at Angel One, to give us more in terms of what's expected. Osho, good afternoon. My first question is, are we going to hit that 20,000 mark before we close today?
Very good afternoon to you. Well, looking at the overall sentiment, yes, 20,000 mark is something that everybody is eyeing on, and it is just a fraction of points, that is 10 points on a round figure that Nifty has been below the 20,000 mark. But it is still doubtful because overall the sentiments are bullish. But the time we are having more and more expectation with 20,000 mark, it becomes a quite tentative task to achieve. So there might be some kind of surprise element coming in the picture, maybe today or might be for tomorrow. It will be left aside. So till now the sentiments are obviously positive. Just a figure of 20,000, it will be something that one should look either in today's session or more possibilities looking like the current condition that it might test today. But again, there is no surety because 10 points even sometimes is very, very high to catch on these kind of markets.
Right. Osho, what is the open interest data indicating so far at 20,000 strike?
See, overall, at the starting of the session, 20,000 were having the maximum call writing position. But as we have proceeded above 19,900 in the mid session, the 20,000 mark has started shifting. The call writers have started shifting their position to 20,200. So clearly, it's an indication that 20,000 is a mark that can be seen as a very achievable target as of now. But on the higher end, we are expecting 20,200. And on the lower side, the previous support was approximately at 19,700. So it is still there, but certain additions can be seen towards 19,800 also. So that means the base is shifting upwards. On the higher end, it is still some certain tentative movement that can be seen from 20,000 to 20,200 in the coming periods.
Right. Now, for this, participation with regards to Bank Nifty is also absolutely crucial. In fact, apart from Bank Nifty, everyone's staring at what happens to the IT index as well. What is the data indicating on both of these?
See, overall, Bank Nifty was also having very strong call writing position at around 46,000 zone. After that, 46,500 is something that which has been witnessing some kind of addition on the higher end. So that means on Bank Nifty, we are expecting the upside to be on towards 46,500, and on the downside, the data still suggests that 45,800 and 45,500 is still having a very decent support. So any dip towards 46,000 or 45,800 should be acting as a very strong support, and one can look for those kind of dip to buy the counter, buy in the index, and from there onwards, the upside target is of 46,500 for the next coming 1 to 2 trading sessions.
Right. So Osho, let's look at stocks. Right now, RIL, HDFC, Infosys, these are names that everyone is eyeing, which could be contributors to take us to levels of 20,000. Clearly, Infosys is a downer in today's session. HDFC pretty much on the borderline. RIL is giving the needed support as we speak. And apart from that, if you see in terms of where other names are concerned, you have ITC, which is seeing some smart moves. Let's start off with the ITC and the Reliance Industries. What are charts indicating and what should the strategy be?
The overall ITC has always outperformed the market from the past 1.5 years. So ITC, even looking at the recent time period, it has been hovering in a higher highs, higher lows pattern. So every week it is making a new high. So that's a very positive development in the overall technical structure for ITC. Even looking at today's construction, we have seen a lot of volume addition in ITC counter. So from here onwards, FMCG space is looking very positive. HUL is about to have declared their reports. So overall, FMCG counter is looking very nice, and specifically ITC is on the verge of clicking the 500 zone. So ITC we might see in the coming week it will be testing the levels of 500. And now coming to Reliance, Reliance again has given a price discovery for the new emergence of the counter, that is Geo Finance. So from here onwards, Reliance has sustained at the decent level for the today's session. So we are expecting that the overall trend in Reliance should continue, and one should utilize such kind of dips to accumulate the counter, because the overall structure in the current financial year is very strong for Reliance Industries. So both the entities of Reliance will be having very strong accumulation once the other entity will get into the transactions period. But till then, Reliance is having a very positive development, and one should try to keep adding the position from short to long, medium-term perspective.
Right, but Osho, if you see the open interest addition right now, ABB and Reliance, both of these are seeing a short build-up in trade today. What does this indicate?
See, overall, the derivative data for Reliance for the day won't be having that much of significance, because if you will be seeing the data for yesterday, in the NSE Bhav copy, majority of the data for Reliance was not present. So we have to again wait for 1 to 2 days for the proper data description for Reliance. So from here onwards, looking at the technical chart, it is still on the very positive front. But for derivative front, we have to wait for 1 to 2 more trading session, so that we can figure out that what the derivative data suggests.
Right. HDFC Bank as well is seeing some good additions a good long build up in today's session. Almost 53 to 54% is the kind of open interest addition. Volumes are also pretty strong on this counter. What should the strategy be?
See, overall, HDFC being the most heavyweight counter in Nifty 50, we are not expecting a very strong rally in this counter, because in the near period, it has already seen a very significant move from the levels of approximately 1580 towards 1750. And even as of now, also it is placed at a very decent resistance zone. So 17,000 to 17,040 is the first resistance zone for this counter. So from here onwards, we have to become a bit cautious in this counter, because even many banking companies are about to announce their quarterly earnings. So that will be having some kind of significance on the overall banking space. So HDFC, as it is placed at the crucial resistance zone, one should be better cautious at these levels, and any upward movement towards 1740 will add up as a fresh long position build up in this counter. So one should buy it above 1740, and for the time being, 1700 to 1740 zone is something that one should wait and watch for some kind of consolidation, or even if there will be some kind of dip towards 1640, one should try to accumulate this counter.
Right. Osho, how are you looking at an Axis Bank as well as an ICICI Bank? I think both initially were on the race to hit a 900. Now both of them are racing towards levels of around 1,000, and good OI addition seen on both these banking majors.
See, overall, I'm more bullish on ICICI Bank as of now, because looking at the overall technical setup and the derivative front, and on the back of derivative front, we have witnessed a very strong addition in ICICI Bank post the breakout around the levels of 960. So from here onwards, if we will be seeing the formation on the technical base, it is approximately 1040 to 1080 that one can expect from medium term perspective. But again, from Axis Bank perspective, Axis Bank is also having a very strong technical setup. But in this expiry, we can expect that 980 to 990 can be acting as the first resistance zone for Axis Bank. As of now, it is somewhere around 980 zone. So here onwards, the 52 weeks high of 982, 984 is something that one should wait and watch for. Once it gives a breakout above 984, 986 levels, then from there onwards, we can expect a gradual up move towards the 1,000 mark. But more optimism is with the ICICI Bank.
Right. Infosys is in focus as well. The company will be reporting numbers in today's session. But longs are being unwound, Osho, in terms of Infosys as we speak right now. What are you looking at?
As of now, Infosys have already seen a very decent rally in the previous week. So as of now, there can be some kind of correction or cool off that can happen in this counter. Technically, the stock is still hovering above the 200-day SMA, which is placed near to 1420 odd zone. So till the time it is sustaining the levels of 1400, 1420, we are not very much negative on this counter. Any dip towards 1400 should be adding as a constructive development for Infosys. But overall, looking on the technical setup, the counter has already been in the overbought region. So from here onwards, any dip towards 1400 will be acting as a very strong support, and one should try to accumulate at lower levels for the upside target of 1520 on immediate basis. And depending on the earning seasons and how it reacts on the price chart, from there onwards, we can even expect a further rally in the coming period.
Right. Osho, so now, it's 100% we're not closing at the 20,000 mark in today's session. What would you recommend investors to buy, or what should the strategy be for tomorrow's session of trade, taking into consideration we might see a 20,000?
See, as of now, majority of the counters which were looking very bullish and which have the potential to drive market have already been at a very higher prices. So there is no risk reward in the major heavyweight counters as of now. But there are few more stocks which are technically very sound and have the potential to move more 4 to 5% in the coming 1 to 2 days. So first technical pick will be from SBI Card. SBI Card has been forming a rounding bottom in the recent 2 to 3 weeks. Currently, it is hovering around 850. So one should try to accumulate SBI Card for the upside target of 890 to 900, while on the downside, a trader should keep a stop loss of 832. The other counter is again from a very heavyweight company, Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance has also seen a very strong reversal kind of a pattern. So one should try to accumulate it around the current levels, that is 7,600, for the upside target of 7,900, while on the downside 7370 should be kept as the stop loss in Bajaj Finance. There are many other counters which are looking very positive, but the risk reward for those counters are not very much favorable. So I'm not mentioning any other names, but SBI Card and Bajaj Finance from risk and reward point of view also is looking very good at the current price.
Right. So these are going to be interesting stocks that we should be watching out for as well. Thank you, Osho, so much for joining us on the show and sharing those views and giving recommendations to our viewers as well. But clearly, if you see from a market perspective, I think there were eyes on that 20,000 mark in terms of Nifty 50, but we're way now we don't see ourselves closing at those levels, and 19,979 is what we're staring at so far. Still 150 point up move coming in on that front. Good support coming in from Bank Nifty as well, 46,200, gains of almost 1.2%. So clear outperformance from the banking majors in today's session. And the advanced decline ratio which was pretty much in favor of the bears when we started off the trading session today, has actually turned in favor of the bulls with 38 advances on Nifty 50. In terms of stock specific action, ITC the top gainer, in fact one of the biggest contributors as well. Apart from that, you had HDFC Bank as well and Reliance Industries. These three have been the top contributors to Nifty 50 up move. Kotak Mahindra Bank, ICICI Bank, Dr. Reddy's and Cipla are a few of the other gainers. The ones which kept markets under check, Infosys, if there was positivity in terms of Infosys, probably we would have seen that 20,000 mark in today's session. But pressure on Ultratech Cement, Bajaj Finserv, the two-wheeler space was also under pressure with Eicher Motors as well as Hero Moto seeing cuts of almost around 0.3 to 0.4% coming in there. Overall, if you see in terms of Bank Nifty, in the advanced decline ratio in terms of Bank Nifty as well, 8 advances, 4 declines. And on the declining end, you had a Bandhan Bank, Bank of Baroda, PNB as well as the IDFC First Bank. So these were the ones which were under pressure in overall trade. Let's quickly look at what was happening in terms of the Sensex as well. 66,523. So we have managed to close about the 63,500 mark in trade. The indicative close is coming in at around 67,540 as we speak. And in terms of stock-specific action, a good move seen in terms of Newgen, 12.5% up move. Polycab has seen a smart run on the back of earnings, 10.5 to 11% up move. Hatson again on the back of numbers saw smart moves. RVNL, 7.5% again earnings. South Indian Bank on the back of earnings, 7.5% downtake. ABB on the back of the comments that we heard from ABB Global saw cuts of around 6.5%. Saregama, Sharda Cropchem, these were a few of the other losers in trade today as well. So clearly, a lot of stock-specific action, but the markets, want of that 20,000 mark is something that we've not been able to achieve in today's session. Whether we see that in pre-open tomorrow is going to be interesting to wait and watch. And what happens in the global markets, and if there is any mirror effect, because though there is that little disconnect that we have been witnessing between global markets and our markets, but what happens in tomorrow's session is going to be interesting to watch out for. That's all that we have on this session. Thanks for watching. Lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned to BQ Prime and have a great evening.